E ke aku manalo e loko kalani. E ho mai te ite mai luna mai nā mea huna no e au. E ho mai, e ho mai, e ho mai me te aloha. Aloha e, aloha no, aloha no.
The school ministry was a primary one for the sisters for the first few years they were here. In 1939, they went to Maui and started to work at Holy Rosary Parish in Paia. During the summers, they went to Kauai to do vacation schools, and over the years have ministered on all of the major islands, with the exception of Niihau and Kaho'olawe.
In all of our missions, we're involved in being a presence in the parish they lived in, so that besides teaching in a school, be it a parish school or not, they were also witnessing to the presence of our charism amongst the people in the parish they belong to.
You know, when I think about it, if it wasn't for the good faith and foundation and family system that we had through the Holy Rosary School and the nuns' supportive services there at our parish, I don't think our family would have fared as well emotionally, educationally. So pretty much all of my siblings and I have had excellent education.
And then there was one day, my son ran out of the class, across the street, and sister noticed he's gone. So she looked out the window. There he was, running. So she ran too with her veil up in the air. And the cars all stopped because she didn't care about the traffic. She just went, grabbed him, brought him back to school.
The nuns were actually, we looked up to them like they were our aunts. You know, they took care of us like we were their nieces and nephews. So we didn't really look at them as teachers.
My family was given because of the opportunity to give them a Catholic upbringing in education, not just going to church on Sunday. It's this daily bread of receiving His words in many different ways.
I went out and during PE time, we have 15 minutes in the morning. I organized the 8th graders. And I started to do physical education with them, you know, exercise and the different things with them. And of course, all the other great children would come around and watch us. Well, when can we do this? When can we do this? So then I trained the 8th graders as leaders, and then they chose the grade they wanted to work with, and they became the leader for those grades. The 8th graders chose leaders from each of their grades. Even the kindergartners would lead the program. And you know, it was just something that caught on, and the kids were great at it.
I miss their presence, I miss their demeanor, I miss the humor, even though they thought that, you know, a lot of my classmates didn't think they were funny at all. Just like, follow this, follow that. But I really admired them a lot in that way, that I respected them, and because of that they became a very special part of my life. And I think more so was when I was ill in high school and they had found out what had happened to me. I was diagnosed with cancer my senior year, and the sisters warmingly graciously helped me through that with their prayers, with their love and support. And I think that's something that I'll never forget.
The schools here in Hawaii has been served by these sisters, and they have been very enriching to the evangelization, at the same time education of the children in a Catholic school.
The sisters helped the families, especially if it was a single parent situation, like maybe it was a woman with 3 children, and and she was working. So that's where they filled in, and they helped out, and it was a very important ministry.
Sisters of St. Joseph were very loving to us, and so much so that they would even come out and play sports with us. They would pin back their sleeves, put the rosary back on the side or tuck it somehow, because they all wore habits in those days. And we had so much fun with the sisters. They were really loving to us. And most of us back then were plantation families, very poor. And the sisters did give us so much love, concern, care, and a wonderful education.
There I was a teacher for the first 4 years of my life there. Then I went to Maui for 7 years, my favorite island, Maui, Nokaoi, and taught 7 years at Christ the King School and St. Anthony School in Kailua. You can't live among green mountains and beautiful oceans and flowers all over for 16 years and not have them be very much a part of your fond memories.
From 1961 to 1967, I taught in Hawaii, and I was known as Sister Ann Michael. My first year I spent in Honolulu at St. Teresa's. The next 5 years I was in Waipahu at St. Joseph's.
We had a good, every Mass for the children, we had them do something different. You know, movement around the church. They came up, and Father was so good. He helped them drape every child made a little ringlet and put it together. So he had a whole ringlet of the kids' names. So we had all the kids' names. There was about 350 kids in school. So we had yards and yards and yards of it coming in.
We had a lot of happy memories, didn't we?
We had,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We laughed over so many things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And to think now, 80 years since our sisters first went to the islands,
Yeah.
and even though the sisters aren't in the schools anymore, those schools are still flourishing.
Yes.
We sowed a good seed. And so on this 80th anniversary, we want to say to the warm, wonderful people of Hawaii, Aloha Nui Loa.
And while ministering through the islands, working their charism of unity and reconciliation, we found that there were many lay people who also have this charism. It's not reserved simply for the sisters. These laymen and women started to join us formally in 1988. They are our companions in prayer and in living out the gospel vision, and they carry on our charism with us. This ohana is an extended family of ours, and there are many others in the community who have this but are not formally with us.
When Sister Joan Hanahan was here as our leader, she was instrumental in starting the ohana, and she raised the subject and brought it up with a few of us, and we thought that was a great idea. So we formed the ohana.
We formed the ohana to carry out, even beyond our congregation, the essential reasons why we are a congregation. We're all about bringing unity and reconciliation. And there were lay people who wanted to be a part of doing what we did, but they couldn't enter. And so we founded the ohana, which is the associate program's name in Hawaii. Here in Los Angeles and the other province, they have associates. These are lay people, men and women, who share in our values, and they want to extend the impact we have on society and on the world.
My husband and I got involved with the CSJ Ohana, and at Christ the King, Father Gary Colton was the pastor at that time, and he approached us, to have, if we could teach the parishioners
to do ministries. And he was an acolyte. We were in bereavement, and I was a lecturer, and I was in environment, and I was in parish council. I can't think so much, but we got the parishioners involved. And in 1994, we started the food pantry, feeding the hungry and the poor. I'm happy to be one for 25 years because it's like I'm giving myself back, you know, to the community and to the sisters and to my dear neighbor.
Never been around nuns. I was always intrigued by them, but I didn't know what to expect. And when I started to get to know them, it might sound stupid, but I found out they were human beings just like the rest of us, crazy just like the rest of us, got mad, got sad, and they led me on a true faith journey. As an Ohana member, I'm always ready to share with the community and help them in their prayer life, in my prayer life. We interact. And my role is to carry on the charism of the CSJ sisters and reconciliation and one with God and just be a good human being.
Among the ministries that they picked up after Vatican II were those that aimed at social welfare work, whether it was working with the aged, with the homeless, doing community organizing, working with abused children, servicing the hearing impaired, and other such areas that were needed.
They really are into what I call not only in education, but they're into social ministries, working in helping families to get affordable housing, helping families who don't have enough to feed themselves, and to take care of their not only tuition in the schools, but also just to have a decent living.
They taught women how to sew. There were plans to build a hula mound, and so we did a lot of things. And people, eventually they divided the land where people could grow their own food for their table, but also to sell at the farmers market. I think they have been a real asset to Hawaii, and they have vocations, a lot of vocations from Hawaii. And to me, I can't think of any other community I would rather work with than the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet.
Sister Rosita oftentimes had brought other sisters.
But we could really lean on her and depend on Sister Rosita.
Okay, so my dad, as I said, was the president of Hamakua Housing Corporation. And he would rely a lot on Sister Rosita as well to help with community organizing, because there are a lot of issues that the people had to deal with. We had no medical. It was, the plantation used to take care of our health care. And when the plantation closed, we thought, what are we going to do? What was going to happen to our communities? And so she came at the perfect time, because I grew up in those communities, and even if I was working for the Office of Social Ministry, it was having a personal impact on my life as well. So having her there just gave a lot of hope.
I would say being a Catholic made it better yet for us in this community, because I can see how the Catholics really got together.
The CSJ is asking if it would be possible for the interview if I could write an oli, a chant of thanksgiving for their 80 years of service, not only in Hawaii, but in all parts of the globe. Ano ai ke aloha e, ka makua manaloa e. E velina me ke aloha, e nā wahine kakolika he molele o St. Joseph's Carondelet. I pi hai kana walu mau makahiki e ola, E ola mauloa e apuni ke au, aupuni ka honua, apuni ka honua e pele ana ole e o ka honua kauhana. Nā ke akua e ho'opo mai ka ia, alaka ia o ko a mauloa. Mahalo ke akua me ka ho'opo mai ka i a mama wanoa.
And although we've become fewer in number over the years, we do all that we can to continue the vision of our founder, to do all the corporal works of mercy of which woman is capable. And we have all of our other folks with us, our lay people and our other families that and friends that are with us today. So we're proud to have served Hawaii for all of these years, and we hope to continue with your help for many years more.